Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers. I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna. Promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being who's mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future. Know you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being who's mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being who's mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. How's everyone? Has everyone got their copy of Spare? Everyone got their copy, or are they still waiting? I was looking at social media yesterday and, today. Don't know why I said yesterday. Actually, I know why I said yesterday, because I have had half a glass of wine while reading Spare. I am as high as Harry when he was smoking that spliff at Tyler Perry's house. So do forgive me if I jumble my words. I mean, I tend to jumble my words anyway, but I'll probably really jumble my words today. I actually went to a wine shop yesterday because, Portugal is well known for its wine. Got me a bottle of 3000 Rosé. That's the name of the rosé. It's not the price of the rosé. I did not spend 3,000 on rosé. It was 13 euros. I got me a 13 euro bottle of 3,000 rosé, and I've been drinking while listening to Spare. Now, I have to say, I'm only up to chapter 15, and the reason for that is because I'm listening to the audio. I'm listening to it on a slightly higher speed, mind you, but I'm listening to the audio and I'm following along in the Kindle and I'm taking notes so I can give you all a proper analysis. So I had hoped to finish at least part, well, I had hoped to finish the whole thing today, but that just wasn't possible because I still had other work to do. So by tomorrow, I would have finished part 1, and then I'm going to do it in. I'm going to just end up doing it in 3 parts. The original plan was to do it all in one day, but because there have been so many leaks, I don't feel the pressure now to try and get it all done in one day. So I'm going to do it in 3 parts anyway. And I'll start with part 1 tomorrow. There's a couple things that we'll go through today. But I will officially start with the full review from tomorrow. Okay. And also, I'll put the link in the chat if anybody does want to come up on the stage today. First 3 people up can have their say. Rahini, you said you got your Audible. Sister gave you her login. Nice. Yeah. So as I was saying, before I diverted, a lot of people on social were saying that there were issues with Amazon, with the ebook, with the audiobook, and also with delivery. So you had some people who were expecting delivery today. It got delayed, and then they had to go off to the shops and buy it anyway. So I'm sorry for everyone who had issues. It is out in the shops now, and people were lining up to go and get their copies. And drum roll, please. Congratulations, Harold, because Spare is now the fastest selling non-fiction book ever. There you go. None of the other Royal Rotaract books mattered. It's blown everybody out the water. Over 400,000 copies sold in 24 hours. And I actually think that's just the UK figures. I didn't even double check whether that was global or just UK. I think that might be just UK. So, congratulations to Harry. It's been 38 years, and he finally now gets to tell his story as he should be able to. Anybody that doesn't want to listen or doesn't want to hear, you have the right to mind your business. But you've been all ears for the last 6 years when they've had nothing but nasty things to say about Harry and Meghan. Now all of a sudden you're bored. Well, nothing you can do. Biggest, fastest selling non-fiction book ever. Incredible. Joyce, you said you're still waiting for your delivery. It will get here. Think happy thoughts. And yes, also I have to say, before we do continue, to Harry's ghostwriter, who I am named, I don't even know his name. If you know the name of the ghostwriter, please put his name in the comment section so I can give him his due credit. But the writing in this book is fantastic. I'm honestly not just saying that because it's Harry's book. If it was bad, I would have said. The writing is amazing. It is so poetic, the use of language, the descriptive, just everything, the way it just flows. And I didn't expect it to be as poetic as it was, actually. And it really just draws you in. You can see the walls of the castle, you can see the halls of Eton, the velvets, the woods. It really just immerses you, and it's, I think, even more wonderful when you're actually listening to the audiobook. So that is my take on just the overall writing and structure of the book. It's very, very well written. Right. So just an update. Yeah, they have been terrible, terrible mudslides. I wasn't able to upload the video in time, but I saw a video from Ellen DeGeneres, and literally like water and mud rushing like rivers in the background. So there was an evacuation notice, and people did have to leave. But obviously, Harry was in New York for the Colbert Show. I saw this on Duchess of Sussex Instagram. Harry and his bodyguard with an actual like armed protection. Very unfortunate that this is the lengths that his security feels like he has to go to, but this is the consequences of what the British tabloid press have created. This environment where he literally has to walk around with armed guards. Also, the stats for the interviews. So 1.4 million, making it the most watched show on a UK broadcaster on ITV. So that was the ITV Tom Brady interview. 4.6 million, amazing. Harry's 60 Minutes interview with Anderson Cooper drew 10.52 million viewers for CBS, up 16% from the season average to date. And on social media, 60 Minutes drove just under 1 billion potential social media impressions. Amazing. Right. Kim Peaches, I can see you smiling there in the background. So do you know what? I'm actually going to let you speak first. If you can just switch off your camera so it's just audio. Yes. Kim Peaches has the most infectious smile, by the way, everyone. But I will have to ask you to switch off your camera, I'm afraid. Thank you so much, Kim.
Okay. I am so happy. Oh my God. I'm from upstate New York, so I'm just so freaking deliriously happy for this couple. I love them I've loved Harry since forever. I'm old enough to be his mommy. So it's like, I'm telling you, these two young people have just been tortured by the media and the craziness and the haters. But they have stood steadfast and they have not given in. And I'm so glad Meghan kept freaking receipts. I am so happy. Keep all your text messages, people, especially from people that don't treat you right. Because you will always have the receipts. I just can't get over it, and I'm waiting for my book. My spare won't be here till Thursday, but I just got to say I'm so glad you're on site on the computer, that I can access you and Baron and everyone, because it just makes me feel so connected, because I really am a squatty, and I really do love them. And I know to some people that may sound kind of crazy, like why people love people you never meet. Maybe you won't never meet them, but listen, it's just the point. I'm a mother and a grandmother, and I don't see how a father can act this way with his son. I don't see how a brother can act this way, but sibling rivalry. But what bothers me the most is that they invited them for Christmas, but you wouldn't let him and his wife sit there at the dinner table after the Queen's funeral. What kind of mess was that? So it just shows you that they pick and choose how they want to treat them when they want to use them for visual sake, so everybody can be like screaming, and see them, and they be there just to get their ratings up, just to get their looking like they look like the good guys. But they're not the good guys. They haven't been the good guys for like 4 years now. And I'm as much as I loved the Queen Elizabeth, I just don't understand. Maybe because she was so older, that she just was really duped, like by the people in the gray suits, whatever. She really seriously.
Sorry, Kim. Your mics are suddenly gone a bit funny. Is it maybe a bit too close to you?
Yeah, I think really seriously, because the Queen, had gotten so old that she really couldn't see what was really going on. I think they were lying to her. But I think if she would have known how they were really treating, Harry and Meghan, I think she would have stepped in. But you never know, and that's water under the bridge now. But I just got to say, I really do love them, and I'm glad he brought out his narrative, because now they're going to correct the narrative, all the lies they say. And some people may not believe him and what he wrote, and some will. But for the sales, yeah, make the money. Make the money, honey. Make the money.
Yeah.
That's all I
Thank you
got to
so much.
say.
Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you for letting me speak. I really
No
enjoyed it. I'm always trying to get on, so I said, let me try one more time and see.
Fantastic. You have a lovely day.
You have a blessed day and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
All right, darling. All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, the squad's always so jolly. Right. Now we found out that the palace and its lawyers were refused being able to watch the CBS and GMA interviews. And also a source close to ITV told Carly Ledbetter that the palace was also not shown the UK ITV interview before it was aired. And I think this is good. At the end of the day, the palace has enough control over certain parts of the press with the royal rota and the tabloids. So for them to try and extend their tentacles when Harry's trying to tell his truth, I mean, for the American news stations, it's pretty standard anyway. They say no, but I'm glad to see also ITV also said no. Also, Richard Palmer, the Royal Rota Rats. Here he is. He posted this. A slow start to sales of Prince Harry's memoir at some bookstores this morning. At this Waterstones in London, there were plenty of photographers, but just one woman in the queue. And there were so many photographers at the bookstores trying to get their pictures. I mean, this just shows you where the money and the interest is. Did you see this for Tina Brown's book? No. Angela Latrine's book? No. Valentine Lowe's book? No. Rob Jobson's book? No. And I'm sure there's more that I'm leaving out. You didn't see this. And there were actually people there. Funnily enough, in the Sky News article, when they were saying the figures, they actually said that the only other book that has come this close was the other Harry Potter. So just to give you a scale of how big that number is, the only other person, and he's not even a real one, is the other Harry the Potter. But yes, people came out to get their copies. And I think I had some other... Oh, that's a shame. I thought I had more pictures of people having the books in their houses. But these are the scenes in London at the bookstores. And with all of the success, of course, you're going to have the bitter Bettys that come out. You had this fellow, Mr. A.N. Wilson. I have no idea who he is, but he was on Times Radio comparing Harry's book to Hitler's Mein Kampf. What do you even say to that? At some point, I think we need to stop being PC and stop with the pleasantries and just acknowledge that all of these people that speak like this, they all have a look, don't they? Doesn't Mr. A.N. Wilson have that look? Incredibly bitter, like he's got salt running through his veins. Also, this very interesting article from The Independent. Now, The Independent was recently taken over. Their new editor is a former Daily Fail editor. The headline, it says, spare lone fan queues outside of Waterstones as Harry's book hit the shelves. I feel bad for the woman in the picture because I don't think that she knows that her photo is being used like this. But just for the record, the woman in the picture was actually interviewed by Sky News, and she had nothing but nice things to say about Harry. She said she was incredibly excited for the book, and she didn't care what anybody else thought. She was going to buy the book and that she supports Harry. So kudos to you, ma'am, and I hope you enjoy your copy of Spare. Right, let me get your comments before I continue. Bridget, there's something rotten not in the state of Denmark in the House of Windsor. Isn't there also something rotten in the state of Denmark? I mean, they're stripping titles over there as well. Something rotten with all of these royal families. We still haven't gotten any updates from the Japanese princess that hopped on out of there. She's in New York as well with her boo boo. Wonder if she'll be writing a book and doing some interviews too. Yeah, Rahini, imagine imagine trying to get a picture of the book. Do you know what's so ironic, right? The picture of Harry's book is probably worth more than a picture of the other royals. Because let's be honest, these are the pictures that everybody wanted to see today. The book in the shops. And it was, Kitty's birthday yesterday. Nobody was interested. Very, very mute. G baby, I bet the royal family is fuming. Probably. All right, on to the next thing. Yes, more trolls. One troll who was completely unexpected and should have just been minding her own damn business. Carla Bruni. Carla Bruni is the former wife of the corrupt, fraudulent ex-French Prime Minister, Nicolas Sarkozy. And she posted this on her Instagram. It's a picture of Harry and Meghan at their engagement, but Meghan's head has been changed for Yoko Ono's. And I think most of us understand the implications. Yoko Ono was dating John Legend. Sorry, not John Legend. that's the wine speaking. John Lennon. And she was blamed for the breakup of the Beatles. And this prompted, many years later, this prompted a lot of conversation about, how we blame women when, things like this for men's actions. And so for her to post this, I thought was very classless. I didn't actually know a lot about Carla Bruni. I didn't even know what the relationship status of her and Sarkozy was. So I had a look. They are now divorced. He allegedly cheated. Before they started dating, she said that she didn't believe in monogamy. Well, apparently Mr. Sarkozy didn't either. And what is it with these women who have their own problematic relationships that just won't leave Meghan and Harry alone? It's like, girl, mind your business. In a response to somebody else who commented under her picture, they said, Carla, what is this? Is this you? And she responded by saying, of course, no, dearest Moira, just a joke. And then somebody else responded, it's in really bad taste, especially coming from someone married to a crook. Be better. Yes. Be better, Miss Bruni, and read the room. I think she knew exactly what she was doing, posting that, and it was really, really in poor taste. Right. Oh, and these are some of the headlines this morning in the UK, by the way. That's what we're waking up to. Yes, trying to stay relevant. They all are. Oh, wow, 1,200 of you in the chat. Wow. Welcome the 1,200 of you in the chat that have entered the chat when I'm half drunk on wine after listening to 15 chapters of Spare. We keep it real around here. If I'm giddy, I'm going to say it. Makes the podcast more interesting. Was Carla Bruni, was she really a supermodel? Was she really that big? Because I didn't know her until she was with Sarkozy. Like, I know Naomi, I know Linda, I know Kate Moss, I know them all, but I never really knew Carla like that. Yes, Sarita, jealousy and misery loves company. Why Foster? Wait, wasn't Sarkozy the one currently serving time in prison for corruption? No, I think he got like a year, but he was allowed to do it under house arrest or something like that. It was to do with election fraud. Right. I think that was all of the other stuff that I wanted to go through. So yes, we'll get on to some of the things that were said in the book. So following on from the interviews yesterday, yes, Harry did mention Camilla, and she is mentioned in the book. And I did manage to actually get to that passage in the book. And it said, my mother legendaringly, I can't even read the word, said there were 3 people in her marriage, but her maths was off. She left Willie and me out of the equation. We didn't understand what was going on with her and Pa, certainly, but we sensed the presence of the other woman because we suffered the downstream effects. Willie long harbored suspicions about the other woman, which confused him, tormented him, and when those suspicions were confirmed, he felt tremendous guilt for having done nothing and said nothing sooner. So he refers to her as the other woman a few times, and then I think later on he actually uses Camilla's name. But I think of all the things in this book, to see Harry actually get to speak about this makes me the most happy, because all these years it's just we've had Camilla shoved in our faces and this forced effort by the palace to try and get us all to accept her. And both Harry and William have been very gracious. Unfortunately, with William, he then hopped onto the smear campaign in the end and betrayed his brother. But neither of the boys, at any point in the last 2 decades, have spoken ill of Camilla. They were there at the wedding, despite the fact that they didn't want their father to marry her. And it's just a shame that she turned on the boys and then William turned on his brother. So just a very ugly and toxic family dynamic, unfortunately. And there was also this passage. Now this speaks to the whole Kate made Meghan cry saga. Now I haven't actually gotten to this part of the book, but I saw it on Twitter and I just had to share. And it said, Kate flushed, didn't answer, and Willie chimed in with some very supportive sounding evasions. But I already knew the truth. No one at the palace could phone the correspondent, so that would be Camilla Tominey as a liar, because that would invite the inevitable retort. Well, if the story is wrong, what's the real story? What did happen between the 2 duchesses? And that door must never be opened because it would embarrass the future queen. The monarchy always, at all costs, had to be protected. We shifted from what to do about the story to where it came from. Who could have planted such a thing? Who could have leaked it to the press in the first place? Who? We went round and round. The list of suspects became vanishingly small. Finally, Willie leaned back and conceded that, while we'd been on tour in Australia, and we remember how successful that tour was, right? He and Kate had gone to dinner with Pa and Camilla. And alas, he said sheepishly, he might have let it slip that there'd been strife between the 2 couples. I put a hand over my face. Meg froze. A heavy silence fell. So now we knew. I told Willie, you, of all people, should have known. So it was William. All this time, it was William. I mean, what do you even say to that? And then I haven't gone into this part of the book either, but at some point in the book, you see a text message exchange between Meghan and Kate about the bridesmaids' dresses. So Kate says, Charlotte's dress is too big, too long, too baggy. She cried when she tried it on at home. Honey, that is your child. You need to discipline your child. And then Megan responds by saying, right. And I told you, the tailor has been standing since 8 a.m. here at Kensington Palace. Can you take Charlotte to have it altered as the other mums are doing? So all of the other mums had no problem with their children. It was just Miss Catherine here being salty. And then Kate says, no, all the dresses need to be remade. All the dresses need to be remade. When the other mums are cooperating, Kate is demanding that all the dresses need to be remade. And then Megan says, I'm not sure what else to say. If the dress doesn't fit, then please take Charlotte to see AJ. He's been waiting all day. And then Kate just says, fine. Honey, if it was me, I'm going to kick your child out the wedding. Because how dare you act in such a manner during another woman's wedding? I mean, my God, you've got the best tailors, the best. There's no way that Charlotte was going to walk into that church looking a mess. You've got the best of everyone working with you, and you're throwing a tantrum. I can't. Another interesting revelation, Rahini, I'm going to let you up in a minute. Thanks for coming in. Was about Charles's teddy bears. Head down, clutching his teddy bear, which he still owed years later. Teddy went everywhere with Pa. It was a pitiful object with broken arms and dangly threads, holes patched. What is it with these royal men and teddy bears? You had Andrew out here with the teddy bears all over his bed. Very, very emotionally stunted people. I don't know. I guess some people, as still have toys and stuff from their childhood as memorabilia, but to carry it around with you, that's a bit much. And it's been talked about in the past the way that the Queen didn't always show love to her children. She was very busy being the Queen, and they're practically just raised by nannies. So everybody in this institution needs serious help. Right, I've got a couple other things to say, but Rahini, I'm going to let you talk. Go on, Rahini.
Hi, everybody. I'm in work, so I can't be too loud.
No worries.
Oh my goodness. I had to stop listening to the audiobook to come here. You interrupted me. And to know I am stuck at work and you are just there drinking and enjoying yourself. I'm
Yeah,
upset. I'm very jealous.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Harry's voice is so soothing and so strong yet loving and hopeful at the same time. I think he have a career as a voice actor.
Mm,
Personally, I think you have a career as a voice actor, and you are so right. If it was me, Kate and her kids would be noticeably absent at my wedding
mm,
because beyond this is the height of caucasity and privilege. Like, are you serious? This is not
mm,
your wedding. It's not
mm,
your wedding. Am I the only one out here who believes that the bride is the star at the show, at your wedding?
yeah, of
Like,
course.
you're the star of the show, everybody else is details. Do you understand me? You show up,
Especially at a royal
you look
wedding.
nice. Exa- I'm just saying, like, Kate, you had your day when you look greasy because you didn't want to hire people to do your makeup. You know, she did her makeup for herself at her wedding. That's why she looked like that. That's why. And they did, right? Nobody, you had your day. You had your day. Let this woman have her day. And then 4 days before, like, Megan, that's a lot of restraint because right would not have been the first word. It would have been BI asterisk asterisk asterisk. Are you dumb? They are there to fix the dress. And you know what? I I have a I have a very weird kind of feeling about Charlotte and these dresses because just a few years before, when Charlotte was a little younger, there were all these stories disparaging that Charlotte was a little chubby. So I'm like, did they measure her for the dresses when she was a little chubby? And then Kate starved her and now it's too small.
Oh god. Yeah, I think we have to be careful not to
I
suggest
know
things like that.
it's so awful. Like that was what came to mind because I remember there was a lot of stories about it, and this guy was making, disparaging remarks about like a 4-year-old. Are you serious?
Oh.
So you had this weird idea about it, and now this dress. I'm like, just go and get the dress fixed. How are you going to design how many flower girl dresses 4 days before the wedding? Was she serious?
And it's
And
just, I
then
mean,
oh,
it's just a dress, for goodness sake. And there was no, you didn't hear anything about this with Eugenie's wedding.
and you know what? Listen, those dress. No offense, it didn't really look that unique. I'm pretty sure they could have gone to some store and get one that fit better. Like fix the dress. This should not have been an issue, and it shows the pettiness and the level of insecurity that she obviously had in Megan's presence, and that's just sad. It's just really, really sad because this is all you are, just pretty frilly dresses. It's really sad. Well, what are you gonna do? And I'm glad that it's and what makes the story very significant is that that story from Camilla Tominey's a liar was the catalyst.
Yes.
It kind of opened up the floodgates, and to know that she, and again, low hanging fruit. She simply could have said, this is incorrect. Whatever happened between family, it was so easy to address back then, but you left it. Why? Because they benefited. They benefited. This was when, the idea of her being the perfect princess actually came about. This was when it started. So she benefited. So she had no incentive to set the record straight. And it was, people would laugh and say it was just dresses, it's who made who cries, a cat fight. But it was the catalyst
Yes.
for why it was literally the basis for why most people hate her. It's the
Mhm.
basics because, oh my God, the angry black woman came in from Hollywood with her attitude and she made Kate cry.
Mm.
Madness, madness. It's sad. It's very
Mm.
sad. It's very
Well,
sad. But I need to know what, I have to always end with a little bit of messy. I need to know what chapter he talks about mountain because, like, I want to fast forward to that part. I
talks
want
about
to hear
talks about mountain.
when he was mounting.
Oh, okay. Oh God, I don't I don't know what chapter that is.
I need to,
It
y'all,
might. Do you know
whoever's
what?
out there,
It
fast so
might
I can
be
fast
in.
forward.
It might be in part one because part one is mostly like his growing up teen year. Well, from what I've read so far, it's like you're talking about Eton, and so maybe I think it's probably in part one. I think
Well, you need to
maybe.
tell us what chapter so that I
Yeah.
can fast forward
Oh
to
God.
hear him talk
You
about
can just
mounting.
you can
Because
just
at
like
this point, if
just
a guy
find the
don't know how to
passage.
mount, I don't want him, ladies. Come on. That's what we want for 2023. A guy who knows how to mount.
Do you know what you can do? You
Who
can
knows
just
how to
like
mount.
find the passage and then like search on. Have you got the Kindle version?
No, I have the audio,
Oh, okay. Well, you're just gonna have to
you
listen
know.
to the whole thing. Sorry.
No, just tell us what chapter. I need to know. I need to know. And because I can't help it but ending with Messi.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for
I
bringing
have
your
no choice. I
message.
have no choice. I have no choice. I have to end with it. You guys have a good day. I have to go back to work now.
You do that as well. Thank you for bringing the messy so that I don't have to bring the messy. Karen, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
Oh boy, I'm just here laughing as Rahini. Oh boy. Um, it's Hi squaddies. So good to hear you guys. You know, good to hear your voice, and it's so nice to hear it today. One of those days that you want to hear that.
Happy to have you.
Yeah. Um, this situation with the bridesmaid dress is just ridiculous. Um, and I keep wrapping my head around it because I grew up as my mother, a seamstress, a dressmaker. I've grown up with clothes being made for me from day one. And I can't remember at 3 years old, I care about what, I knew how my dress is supposed to be fitted. It's ridiculous.
But doesn't that just tell
At
you
three
that it
year old,
definitely that doesn't that tell you that it was not the child, it was the adult?
exactly. It tells you it was the adult who is purposely doing this. The child would not even know. You just put a frock on the child, and the child would be okay. She might even put on her mom's shoes and be jumping around with it. Okay? What would a 3-year-old child know? 3 years old know about how a dress or a pants or something would fit them. It's ridiculous. Okay, so right there and then, you know that she was ready to make trouble in this girl wedding. And on top of that, it's not your damn wedding. You have no place sanctioning. Just get the girl to where she's supposed to get the fitting. And she mentioned something about forgetting when it's supposed to be. Okay, don't she have courtiers for every one of those kids? An aide for every one of those kids that have a schedule for the whole week, for each day, for those kids. Isn't that how the monarchy family works as an organization? So you know that this whole thing is crap. That you couldn't remember. She didn't have to remember. The aide of that child would have tell her what her schedule was for that whole day. And if she couldn't take her, the aide would have taken her. So this whole thing, okay, that she's getting on Meghan with she couldn't remember and all that stuff, it's just crap. It's really, really crap. Because I don't have all these aides behind me, and I'm more organized than you. And you have help. You have help for each one of those kids that you get. Even today, they have help for themselves and each one of those kids. That every single morning you get up. Okay, you have to be, you have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, you have to get together with your aides, and they have to let you know what your kid's schedule is and what your schedule is. Okay, so and this thing with the baby brain, of course, you just had a child. You're coming out and saying that you forget. Okay, that is a saying that any mother and any family would say to someone. Well, we understand because you're in baby brain right now because you're focusing on this new baby, and you're just coming off this delivering a baby and this maternity thing. So of course, okay, and this is a woman who's telling you that because she's now coming into this family and trying to be friendly with you and kind of embracing you and behaving with you as a normal person, as how friends would behave, but then you're coming to her with this attitude. Okay, like she's supposed to be standoffish with you and operate with you as if this is a business thing, okay, not a family thing or a friendly thing. And she has to give you an apology because she mentioned to you about baby brain.
Yeah, it was just really just making a ruckus out of everything, really. But I wanted to
anyway.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you what part of the book are you on, Karen?
I'm not on any part of the book yet. I'm still waiting for mine. It's supposed to be here at 4:30, at 4:05 today. So I'm waiting for it. I got message it's been shipped and everything. I was following the route and they mentioned 4:05, so I guess they're late. So I'm waiting for it, and I'm also trying to order the audio so that my mom can listen to it. So I'm trying to order the audio as well to get. But I do want the hard copy, which I did order, and I'm trying to work on the audio. So, but
well, I hope it will come to you hopefully by tomorrow. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it will come. Karen. It will come. Not a problem, sweetie. You take care.
Thank you. You
Bye,
too.
squatties.
Bye.
You take care, hon. Bye.
So Other stuff happening. Yeah, Harry does cover people. I posted the link on the community tab. So if you want to go read the people article, just go to the community tab and it will be there. Another interesting thing that I saw floating around social from the book, again, I'm not at this part of the book yet, but I did some digging and oof, did I not find something very interesting? Harry mentions Rebecca Brooks. Rebecca Brooks, another flaming redhead, she was editor at the News of the World. She's very heavily involved in the phone hacking. She is often described as uh, Rupert Murdoch's daughter, a daughter like not she's not his biological daughter, but they're so close that people said that he treated her and still treats her very much like a daughter. And after the whole phone hacking scandal, I think she was given something to the tune of almost 10 million, some nice hush money to never talk about Murdoch's secrets. And he has never talked about hers. And she was so powerful that she would even threaten politicians. I think at one point she was known to have said, when David Cameron was prime minister, the prime ministership is basically mine, pulling a lot of strings behind the scene. I mean, this is the power that these tabloids have. This isn't just about the royals. This isn't just about Meghan and Harry and royal gossip and things that we talk about in our little Sussex squad bubble. This is some very serious stuff. The revolving door of corruption goes between not just press and royals, also between the press and government. I don't know if you remember the day after Meghan won her case, Boris Johnson mentioned something about judges and changing the laws about judges and rulings. And I have no doubt in my mind that somebody at the Daily Fail, somebody in Rothermere's camp, rang Bojo and said, "You better say something." And that is the dangerous relationship that the press have with the government. But Harry, in his biography, he mentions Rebecca Brooks and the obsession that she had with him. And Rebecca, it's claimed, was in love with Piers Morgan. Saying here in this this is a Guardian article. Former colleagues say she groomed those she needed for success. As a humble feature writer at the News of the World in 1994, she made a very close ally of her editor, Piers Morgan, and fell in love with him, according to one friend. He promoted her to be features editor and then senior associate editor. By the time he left in 1995, she was wooing the senior management of News International, taking up golf, according to one source, so that she could socialize with them. The chief executive, Les Hinton, became part of her network and credited with teaching her how to play politics in the corridors of power. Oh, and didn't she play those politics? Threatening the prime minister even. By 1996, she had Tony Blair on speed dial and the media advisor Alistair Campbell as a friend. We need a free and open press that should have the right to criticize government, albeit fair criticism. But there needs to be a distance. The fact that an editor of a tabloid would have the prime minister on speed dial, that is not okay. That is not okay at all. And the fact that she was, as Harry put it, obsessed with her, in love with Piers Morgan, who was also obsessed with Diana and now obsessed with Harry's wife. 6 degrees of ickiness. that I don't even want to think about. Right. I think that's pretty much all I had to say today. We're going on almost an hour now, so I think that's enough from me. I'll just go to your comments and then we'll call it a day. But thank you as always, everyone. I will try and get at least part one read and analyzed by tomorrow so we can go through it in a little bit more detail. And hopefully some of you would have gotten to that point as well. We can all kind of talk about it together. Right. Let's get through your comments and then we will wrap things up. Thank you as always, everyone. Over 1,600 of you in the chat. Wow. I think our record was like 1,900. I don't know. Have we ever hit 2,000? For those of you who've been following me for a while, sometimes I forget these things. Have we ever hit 2,000? I think we've definitely got to 1,900. Frederica, you're still waiting for your book. It's meant to be in transit. It will be here. It will be here. Finger, you said that they were jealous of Meghan and wanted to put Meghan in her place in the start. However, let's give Kate a little leeway as she was postpartum. Or at that particular time, perhaps. But even after that, it seemed like she was definitely part of the smear campaign. Because she was the biggest beneficiary of Meghan getting dragged because of the dynamic that they created, that the press created. Because, you know, Meghan is this angry black woman and Kate is the saintly English rose. Sonia, my book will arrive at 8 p.m. today. Just be there by the door. When you see that Amazon truck, run outside. Like, give him like a rugby tackle down and take your book, ma'am. You've been waiting. Are all of you throwing up because Rebecca Brooks was in love with Piers Morgan? That was news to me. I mean, I knew she was a nasty piece of work, but now I know just how nasty of a piece of work she is. I never knew this about her and Piers Morgan, actually. Today was the first that I was discovering. But it just shows you, you know, birds of a feather, or shall we say fools of a feather, flock together. I mean, what exactly is it about Piers Morgan there is to love? What? Oh, are the trolls out? Welcome, trolls. Thank you so much for being here. We know you've got nothing else to do. Yes, Miss P talks. And she was very heavily involved in, you know, women in journalism. It's so interesting that the women at the top of these organizations are the type that would throw a woman under the bus very quickly. Her, you know, Camilla Tominey, you know, Kate Manzi, all of these tabloid writers. Very nasty. Yes, Cinderella, she's a social climber in a different way. Varga, she said, I love bacon, but it's not Piss Morgan. Yes, please do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Yes, Jessica, in love with Piers Morgan. Like, well, I don't know. You know, beauty is subjective, and I guess in her eyes, Mr. Morgan was quite dashing. Clearly, she needs to go to Specsavers. Oh, Sylvia, I did hit 2K once. As soon as you mentioned it, it went back to 1.9 because all of the trolls left the chat. They didn't want me to be at 2,000. Thank you for reminding me, Sylvia. Good to know that I did at least hit it that one time. All right, who's going to get the last word of the day? Bridget says, does anyone know when Baron is coming on today? I can check and see if he's scheduled anything at the moment. Let me just see if he has. If anybody knows, please post it in the comments. He doesn't have anything scheduled yet, so I'm assuming probably just later. I mean, I was meant to go on later as well because I wanted to give myself time to finish the first third of the book, but I've just decided to do it tomorrow. Kim Peaches, thank you so much for the super chat. You said, let's keep our favorites uplifted. Love Harry and Meghan. Love you, Duchess. Love you too. Keep on keeping on, baby girl. Thank you so much. I will keep keeping on because you lot are amazing. You encourage me so damn much. And I'm not now going to get off this podcast and go to sleep because I am drunk off that wine. And I'm going to let you all go back to reading Spare as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Listen, we're finally here. Harry's got his word out. Oh, thank you so much, Hild. Thank you so much for super sticker, much appreciated. Harry's got his word out, and that's what matters. And people are going to read this book now. They're going to see it for themselves. We're not going to convince everyone, and that's okay. That's okay. But I'm going to leave it there. I was going to talk about Harry's comments about racism, but I think because I actually had something to say about that, but I think I'll leave that until tomorrow because we've gone on quite a while now, and I want to let you go. But I'll talk about that tomorrow because I know that a couple of people in the squad have said some things, and people have been kind of going back and forth about it. So we'll have a discussion about that tomorrow. Okay. Have a lovely day, everyone. Ciao.
Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers. I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna. Promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being those mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future. Know you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being those mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you
Meghan's marrying into a family which has, to put it mildly, a dodgy track record on race. It's not Meghan Markle's problem, it's their problem.